Now let's talk about the random numbers in Python in Java. So if we go to the import Java utility shortcut for the utility, and then we're gonna enter our random class, and the way to write it is with capital D in the beginning, and then we're gonna say we come to our main method, and then let's create an integer and name it a, and then what we're gonna say, okay, a equals ran, and in order to create a random number, that's what the random do for us. It's gonna give us a random number, and the way to do that is by creating rand, writing rand and gen with the G capital. So rand gen, which shortcut for generator, and then we're gonna say okay, next and integer. But before that, before doing that, as we did with the scanner class, we have to create an object for that. So let's go and create the object. So we have the random, we're gonna write it the same thing, and then we're gonna name it rand generator, and then we're gonna say new random. And so this way we created an random object, and so if I run this program and let's output it, system out print a for us. So if we run this now, it's gonna give us a random number. As you guys see, and each time I run it, it's gonna give me a different random number. Maybe it's zero, and maybe it's negative number, or maybe a positive number. As you guys see, it just keeps giving me a different number. And if I specify the range of the number, so let's suppose I wanted to get numbers from 0 till maybe till 10. So what I could do is over here, I will tell the program I need the range to be from 0 till 10. If I want to include the 10, then I have to put 11 over here, because I'm starting from the 0. So we have 0, 1, 2 till 10. It's going to be equal to 11 number. So if I run this, I will get what I will be getting, number between the 0 and 10. I can get different number. So as you guys see, all what I will get is either 2 or maybe some different numbers that's smaller than 11, or in the range of 0 and as you guys see, I get different number. And sometimes if you want to get the same number, so like you see in some games that the computer does it play in the same pattern. The way to do that is maybe like you put a number over here and you specify the seed. And by the seed we mean it's gonna give you the same number over and over. So it's giving me a random number, but it's gonna be the same over and over. Whenever I run this program, it's gonna give me it as 6. It's not gonna change that random number unless I change the seed over here. But if I don't put over here any seed, then it's gonna give me a random seed which based on the current time, which is the current local time. Or so that's why it's, if you don't put anything in the random over here, then you're gonna create an different seed. But specifying the seed, you're gonna get the same number over and over. And we created, and as we said, we're gonna create a random object, and we're gonna use it over here. So this is the random number. And another thing, let's suppose you want to get numbers between the range 5 till 10, right? And the way to do that is you're gonna say, okay, I want my range to be 5 numbers. So it's starting from the 5. We're gonna get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we don't want to get the 10 included. Or if we wanted to include the 10 also, we could say over here 6 plus 6. So what's gonna give me? It's gonna give me a number. Then it's gonna add it with the 6. So if it's over here, it gives me 2, but then it's added with 6, I will get 8. So that's another way to specify the range. Now let's talk about the if and else statement. So one if and else statement is one of the most used statements in programming. So the way it works is gonna say if this condition is true, then do this, else do the other thing. So if let's create an integer a, and or let's give it a value, maybe 0, and then we're gonna say another. No need for another integer. Just we're gonna say if a equals 0, and the way to write equals is by putting two equal sign. So if I put just only one equal sign, then I am this way. I am assigning 0 to a. But if I put the two equal sign, then this in this situation I am comparing. What I am saying, if a is equals 0, but if I only put over here, what I'm saying is a assign 0 to a. So you have to put it two equal sign for comparison, or whether to see whether they have the same value. We put two equal sign if we want to check they have the same value. We could also put the exclamation mark and the plus. This means if a does not equal 0, then I would like you to do that. Or maybe you could say if a bigger than or equals 0, or just type in if a bigger than 0, or if a is smaller than 0, or maybe you could write in if a is smaller than 0 and equals 0. That's way this is one of the ways to use the logical operators in Java. So let's get back to our example. We're gonna say if a equals 0, check this condition, and we're gonna write if and the parentheses. And over here also we're gonna open new braces, and if you see over here I didn't put the semicolon. So this is one of the statements that we are not gonna put semicolon over here. So we're gonna say if a equals 0, then I would like you to print for me hi. So we're gonna print hi, or maybe hello. And else, so the way to specify the else, so we're gonna say if a equals 0, then print that. So if we run this statement now, or run the program, and we have an error, which is I type it the P as capital, it's gonna give it as error. So be careful about that. Sometimes if you're writing too fast, it's gonna, you maybe mistakenly you put capital instead of small, or small instead of capital. So be careful about that. So it's gonna say if the condition is true, then I will print that. So if I specify the a as 2, it's not gonna print hello world for me now, because the condition is not true. A does not equal 0. So as you guys see, the program didn't print anything for me. So let's talk about the else statement. So we're gonna have the else statement, which is gonna say else if that condition is not true, then do this for me. Then we're gonna say system out, and then we're gonna say x equals maybe the value that it has, or a, or we just changed to a. So yeah, and if I run this now, since what's gonna happen over here, we have assigned the 2 for our integer a. So our program gonna check the condition. Does a equal 0? Well, it does not equal 0. So this condition is not true. So it's gonna run the else statement for us, which is giving us the value of the a. So it's gonna say a2, as you guys see, because the condition is not true in the if, we printed that out. Now let's talk about the if else if statement. So as we guys see over here, the braces from here start for the if start from here until here, and then we're gonna have the block for the else also, or braces. So we have another statement which is else if, and this is condition. I'm gonna say if a equals 0. Well, what if a equals 2? Then I would like you to print system out print maybe some value. What's your favorite number? Or maybe just so we could or actually just keep it this way. So if I run this statement now, since I have the a equals 2, it's gonna say for me, okay, yeah, the first condition is not true, which is if a equals 0, it's not true. But it's gonna check this statement. Does a equal 2? Well, it does, so it's gonna print this for us. And what if I give the a as the value of 3 or maybe 1 or any value is not 0 or 2? Let's give it 4 maybe. So it's gonna check the first for does a equal 0? No. Does a equal 2? No. So it's gonna run the else for us. So the else is like the last, like our last resort. We go for it after checking everything over here. So this is the way to use the if else statement. And now let's talk about the and or not operators. So, and let's go do that by creating an integer a and then another integer b, and then we can ask from the user to enter two numbers. So we're gonna say system out print enter, or before that we're gonna say enter first number, and to do that we're gonna need a scanner object. We're gonna name it scanner new system in, and a equals scanner dot next integer, and after that we can ask from the user to enter another number, which is enter the second number. So enter the first over here and enter the second number, and this time we can enter b, so scanner next integer. And so let's run the program and see what's gonna happen over here in the beginning, and then we're gonna use our operator. So, and we have an error over here. Put the semicolon, not the. So we're gonna enter the first number, a second number. So the program stops till now. So let's learn about the operators we talked about. So we're gonna say if maybe a bigger than 0, and we're gonna say and. This is the way to write the and. You put the two and signs over here, and a bigger than b. Then we're gonna say system out and we're gonna say for the first number is positive and bigger than, let's end it over here, and start another line, system out print actually just let's end it over here, be positive and bigger than the second number. So this is the way what's gonna happen over here, our program gonna check for the condition. Does A bigger than 0? And does A bigger than B? So the way the AND operator works, it's gonna return true only if both are true. So if one of these are false, then this condition is not true. But if both are true, then AND gonna return us true. Also, we're gonna say else if A or B bigger than 0 and B bigger than A, then I would like you to print. Let's copy this. I would like you to, and we're gonna print the second number is bigger, is positive and bigger, and bigger than the first number. So this is the second condition. So this condition is true when B is bigger than 0 and B is bigger than A. Else we're gonna say else print for us let's say I'm not looking for these numbers, just something random. So let's join our program, and we have here. So let's run it one more time. It's gonna say enter the first number. So if I enter the first number bigger than 0, let's suppose it's 5. The second number is 9, which is bigger, also bigger than 0. Then this statement will be executed. Because B is bigger than 0 and B is bigger than A. So if I enter it as 9, it's gonna say the second number is positive and bigger than the first number, which is this statement. But if I enter the A as bigger, maybe like 8, and the second number as 1, it's gonna say the first number is positive and bigger than 0. But what if I enter the first number as minus 9 and the second number is maybe 0, right? So this time it's gonna say I'm not looking for these numbers. As you guys see, enter the first number, which is minus 9. So this condition is not true. B is not bigger than 0. Even though this condition is true, B is bigger than A. 0 is bigger than minus 9, but B is not bigger than 0. So this condition is not true. This way, this is not gonna work. And this one is not true in any way. So we have over here, we have false and false. But over here we have true and false, but it's also it's true and false, but it's gonna return us as false. So that's why we're gonna go for the else statement. But if I had the or over here, or maybe let's give another example for that. And we're gonna say the way to write the or statement is by putting two symbols like this over here. Same over here, let's do that. We're gonna say if A bigger than 0 and A big, or this way. So if one of these conditions are true, then we're gonna say so let's change it a little bit. We're gonna say if B is bigger than 99 or B is bigger than A, then print this for me. The second number is bigger. And if A is bigger than 0 or A bigger than B, then print, or let's do it the same. We're gonna say if A bigger than 99 or A bigger than B, then I would like you to print the first number is big enough. The same, we're gonna do the same thing with the first number. So let's run the program. So if I enter the first number as maybe 9 and the second number as 3, then it's gonna say the first number is big enough. The reason for that is it's gonna take over here. Does A bigger than 99? Well, it's not bigger than 99, but this condition is true. A is bigger than B. Then it's gonna print this for me. So only if one of these are true, then that's enough for us with the OR statement. And so yeah, this is the way to use the OR statement. And now let's talk about the last statement, which is not statement. So for that, we're gonna create a new variables. We're gonna name it, and we're gonna say number maybe equals 4. Over here, we're gonna say if a number equals 4, then print hi, I am a new program. Else print I am old program. So if I run this now, since it's gonna check for the condition, does A equal 4? Well, it does equal 4 because we specified the number as, or the number, does the number equal 4? So that's why it's gonna print I am a new program. But if I use the not statement, which is, it's written this way, you put over here, and the way to write it is by putting the exclamation mark. So you just put it over here. So this condition was gonna say if, so this is true, with the not it's gonna change it. So even though this condition is true, but by using the not statement, it's gonna give us as false. So if we have false, we're gonna get true. And if we have true, we're gonna get false. So it's gonna give us the opposite. By putting it though. And yeah, over here, we put the anything before the not operator inside the parentheses. So we're gonna do that inside the parentheses. So over here, it's gonna print for us I am old program, because even though a number equals 4, but we use the not operator, so it gave us as false. That's why we printed that statement over here.